All right, let's talk about Section 230. Do you know what Section 230 is? I found a perfect article to sum it up perfectly. It's from May. What is Section 230 and why does Trump want to change it? Well, Forbes, we'll see what Forbes has to say about it, right? Section 230 is part of the federal legislation passed more than 20 years ago. It runs only 26 words long, short and to the point, but it has had an outsized effect on life as we know it. There are the 26 words that created the internet, says Jeff Cossett, a cybersecurity law professor at U.S. Naval Academy and one of the foremost experts on Section 230. Most fundamentally, Section 230 provides immunity to social media companies like Facebook and Twitter against being sued over the content on their site. This allows them to operate and flourish without needing to moderate content. And yet, they do it anyway, don't they? Section 230 set the legal framework over the internet that we know today that relies heavily on user content rather than content that companies create. Without Section 230, companies would not be willing to take so many risks, Cossett says. President Trump now wants to change Section 230. He signed a new executive order on Thursday. This was, of course, back in May. That will try to curb how social media sites use the legislation to prevent legal action. We're here today to defend free speech from one of the greatest dangers it has faced in American history, he said in the Oval Office. Here's what Section 230 is and why Trump's proposal matters to anyone like you, someone reading these words online. All right, what is it exactly? And here it is. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Okay, what does this mean in practice? It offers a broad shield to tech companies, protecting them from lawsuits over content generated by users on their sites. It gives Twitter and Facebook the right to moderate content, but does not give them the responsibilities to do so. Because content is posted on their platforms so rapidly, there is just no way they could possibly police everything, says Senator Ron Wyden, who helped create Section 230. Tech companies are not absolved from everything. They're still required to police some types of unlawful content, such as child pornography or bootleg movies. All right. You know what? Let's keep reading because it says, why was it created? In the 1990s, Stratton Oakmont, the brokerage founded by Jordan Belfort, yes, the guy who Leonardo DiCaprio portrayed in Wolf of Wall Street, sued an internet service provider, Prodigy Services, for defamation. Someone on a Prodigy-run message board had accused Stratton Oakmont of fraud. The New York State Supreme Court ruled that Prodigy had acted as a publisher and thus was liable for defamation. This case caught the attention of Wyden, then a congressman for Oregon, who worked with California Representative Chris Cox to include Section 230 as a protection for other internet businesses from lawsuits like Stratton Oakmont's in their Communications Decency Act of 1996. Section 230 was only a small portion of that broader legislation. The Communications Decency Act's broader purpose was to slow the spread of child pornography on the web. Okay. And good, get rid of that stuff. The U.S. Supreme Court in a 7-2 decision struck down most of the act the following year, ruling that it too greatly restricted free speech. But the court kept Section 230. A lot of people will say that without Section 230, you wouldn't have had the rise of social media because they would have been sued into oblivion, says tech ethicist David Ryan Polger, a Forbes contributor. In essence, the act treats internet businesses very similar to how we treat the post office. Polger explains, there's misinformation all the time that people are sending through letters, but you don't blame the post office. They're merely a conduit. You know, it's interesting because so Twitter can't be held liable, and yet they still moderate everything. They still add fact checks on things. They still ban people constantly. I don't know if you were paying attention last night on my show. I had Karlin Borosenko on, and we were talking about Elle. All right, it's heavy Twitter user, very vocal about fraud and exposing things on the internet, and she's very good at it. She gets into the nitty gritty of very we should, how to put this lightly, dark information. All right. And she digs it up and she posts it on everywhere. They banned her. I even had, let me just bring it up. I said, hey, if you're listening, like, feel free to come on my show. She actually tweeted at me. She was like, awesome, anytime. Where is it? Here we go. Check us out. And of course, it's unavailable. And she is suspended. Why is she suspended? I can only assume it's because she says the spiciest stuff and the stuff that they don't want people knowing. She was all about bringing up all the election fraud, bringing up all the stuff that is, spreading around, that CP stuff. It's like, it's gross. And she blasts people out. Like, who's actually doing it? Well, she got banned. And that's Twitter's choosing to be who's on their platform. And that's crazy. Check us out. Donald Trump. This is from today. All right. Oh, no, this is from a couple days ago. Yeah. So this is 3 days ago. Donald Trump tweeted, Section 230, which is a liability shielding gift from the U.S. to big tech. The only companies in America that have it, corporate welfare, is a serious threat to our national security and election integrity. Our country can never be safe and secure if we allow it to stand. Therefore, if the very dangerous and unfair Section 230 is not completely terminated as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, I will be forced to unequivocally veto the bill when sent to the very beautiful Resolute desk. Take back America now. Thank you. Those are some bold words that he's putting out there. But he's right. Section 230 is a shield that they use so they can ban and moderate their site however they see fit. They can get rid of all the conservatives, all the people that go against the narrative that they clearly want to push, and without liability because they have Section 230, which they're using and taking advantage of. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're sitting behind it going, ha ha ha, you can't stop us from getting rid of everybody that we want gotten rid of. And that's what's happening. Sure, it's a private platform, but one can argue that it's the new town square. Donald Trump is not allowed to ban anyone. He's not allowed to block anyone or mute anyone because they've ruled his tweets, because he's the president, is a forum, an open forum. It's like a town square. How is that different from what we use the internet now? Okay, why is not our free speech regulated protected from the internet? It should be. If I can say whatever I want legally, I could say, within reason, because you can't yell fire in a movie theater if there's no fire. That's illegal. Okay, so there's certain things that make sense that shouldn't be legal to do. If you do that, you're gonna freak everyone out, and everyone's gonna rush out. And if there's no fire, it's just, you're basically just an a-hole, honestly, in my opinion. But what I found interesting about this Section 230 is it's not just that. All right, I actually tweeted on this. I responded. Also this. I don't know if you know about this. HR 5736. Okay, also known as Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. I'm going to read this to you because this is crazy. All right, once you realize what this is. Amends the United States Information and Education Exchange Act of 1948 to authorize the Secretary of State and Broadcasting Board of Governors to provide for the preparation and dissemination of information intended for foreign audiences abroad about the United States, including about its people, its history, and federal government policies through press, publications, radio, motion pictures, the internet, and other informational media, including social media, through information centers and instructors. Under the current law, such authority is restricted to information disseminated abroad with a limited domestic exception. Okay, let me break that down for you. Okay, before that original one that was put into place, the Educational Exchange Act, we can send propaganda out to the rest of the world and tell them whatever we want. Okay, we can alter information and basically lie to the rest of the world if we want to. Okay, not that I agree with that. Okay, sending propaganda at all, I mean, whatever, it's all lies. But what this changed back in 2012 is it gave them the right to use that same kind of system, spreading of misinformation, on the American public. So it was illegal to blast lies and spread lies. You know, what else changed in 2012? Tim and I did an episode talking about the increase of racial talk, inequality talk, I don't remember all the different graphs. There was like 20 different graphs that we went over, and it all started in 2012. So what is it? It's because of this right here, this bill, HR 5736. This needs to be repealed, okay? It is legal for people to propagandize American citizens. It's legal because of this. Fake news? Oh, fake news isn't real? It's not? Okay, so why is this in place? Why is there a bill saying it's legal to basically skew the information and not worry about it being completely accurate to the American public? And how do more people don't know about this? Because this is ridiculous. Okay? I want the truth. I want you deserve the truth. I mean, everybody on the globe deserves the truth, you know, for being honest. But I'm just talking about America right now because that's where I live. That's where I was born. I'm American. I'm proud of it. I want America to be amazing. All right? I want to make America great again. This right here, this is the biggest proof to me that America isn't as great as it used to be, because now the you know, the powers that be can propagandize American citizens. I don't know if that's even a word, propagandize, but I like it and it works for the situation because that's what they're doing. Fake news is real. Make America great again. Get rid of this bill. Get rid of this act. Okay? President Trump, if you're listening to me, check this out. The Smith Modernization Act of 2012 allows, you know, it's funny because in 2012, President Trump tweeted out, it's not who you vote for, it's who counts your vote. Interesting. So he knew some stuff was going down back then. And now we have it legal that they can just, you know, spread propaganda. Well, check this out. Beijing-controlled news outlet paid U.S. newspapers millions to publish propaganda this year. Wow. So not only can American companies send propaganda into our airwaves in America, China is doing it too. They're paying our news outlets to send propaganda into our airwaves, all right? Our ears, news media everywhere, okay? This is the issue. If that wouldn't be legal, if anyone is allowed to do this, like, how is this possible? How is it possible that China can do this? Huh? It doesn't make any sense. It all stems back to this bill. The Smith Modernization Act needs to be repealed. This is ridiculous. Make America great again, baby. We need that. I've more and more leaned in. I used to be like more, you know, make America greater. We can only be greater. Well, actually, it was pretty great until a lot of these things. And this is one of those bills that was put forward that made us weaker. Okay? This has made us significantly weaker. This is basically a bill that was put into place saying we can now be brainwashed. Okay, we can now legally brainwash our population. It's crazy. Authorizes the secretary and the board to make available in the United States motion pictures, films, video, audio, and other materials prepared for dissemination abroad or disseminated abroad pursuant to such act, the United States International Broadcasting Act of 1994 and Radio Broadcasting of Cuba Act and Television Broadcasting to Cuba Act. This is back when they were worried that information that they were trying to give to the American public would get out to the other world, you know, like Cuba, for example, like the Cold War. Well, we can't let them have any of this information, but we want the American public to be aware of what's going on. How do we figure that out? All right, well, we'll tell the rest of the world lies and tell the American people the truth. This basically said, you know what? Forget trying to make it complicated. Let's just lie to everybody and make it legal. That is ridiculous, and this is disrespectful to all of us as American citizens. We should be pissed that this is a thing. And I can't believe that the president, that he hasn't gone, we need to get rid of this. Because I hope he knows about it, because this is ridiculous and we got to get rid of this. So, yeah, if you didn't know about it, now you do.